You really think there was more than one? There was another syllable in there?
Well, Hassel claims you're saying 3 syllables, and then
Lohrville?
Matt,
I haven't said 3 syllables.
Hi, I'm Scott Edwards, owner of Plaza RV. We're a locally owned, full-service RV dealer, and we want to earn your business. We will do that by providing top-of-the-line personal service that big box dealers just can't offer. Service that goes well beyond the initial sale. We care about Central Iowans because we are Central Iowans. Give us a chance to sell you a brand new travel trailer or fifth wheel today. We promise you won't regret it. Shop local, shop Plaza RV.
Something else to be fascinated by today, please, Hassel.
This fall, the Sandman, Adam Sandler, You're My Best Friend Tour.
I feel like we're very good friends now.
Casey Center, Saturday, October 4th. Get tickets now at HiVTix.com.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. Driven by Ramsey Subaru of Des Moines. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Welcome to Murph and Andy live from Lohrville, RVTV Stop 3 of the week. And Andy, right now we have sun and perfect weather, but we have had some rain.
Yeah, I had some rain overnight. I know the Des Moines Metro got a lot of rain overnight. It's as far as I know, it's all cleared up, though, and it's brought some cooler temperatures. We got some breeze in here today, which is not uncommon out in rural Iowa. It seems like everybody knows how to live in wind, like a lot of it.
I have already had a day here in Lohrville. So we came in. They put us in Big Enos and Little Enos's car from Smokey and the Bandit, and there was a fire truck. And do you remember seeing the limo from when I broke Ed out of prison?
Yeah, he was parked down in the in Rockwell City that met us. Yeah.
Had an old fire truck, and they took us out to the University 40 outside Lohrville, which used to be owned by the University of Iowa, and it's just this beautiful green space and a park. And before we even knew what we were doing, we were flipping pancakes with the Lions Club. We were going down a slip and slide down a whole hill dressed in suits. And by we, I mean everybody but Ed and me. We decided not to put those on, which is good because right now inside the Plaza RV here, Scott Sipker is having his clothes dried because he's soaked from head to toe. David Warrington had to go buy underwear.
Where did he buy underwear?
I don't know.
Here, I don't
at the underwear store.
Yeah. I don't think there's a men's clothing store in Lohrville. There are a couple of bars, we're told.
3. 3 bars.
So I got warned about Lohrville. My mother-in-law has worked nearby in the hospital in Lake City for a long time, and she said, well, you guys are going to Lohrville. Boy, they send a lot of people to the emergency room. Apparently, they work hard, play hard here.
Almost sent David Warrington there. He's our new sports reporter. Hopefully, you know who David is by now. Hit his chin sliding down the hill. And then we had a keg toss. And I was against Ed in that. And
keg toss on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
I think I'm getting right. I'm getting some clues here to
we're
what
not
my mother-in-law's talking about.
Andy, this is before we're even in town.
Yeah,
like we're not even hardly here yet, and I'm throwing a keg down the side of a hill, and I did the English backwards, so it didn't spin right. Yeah. I didn't do it right, and Ed won that. Ed beat me in the keg toss, and now. Once we are here and we're right outside the Plaza RV, Scott Edwards sitting near here. Aiden Wyatt is on site, about to fall asleep, I think. It's so nice out here. But I don't think we're talking enough about what everybody in town is buzzing about, which is that great save I made right before we came on.
You tripped over one of the cords and almost took out our nice new speaker back there.
I caught it,
Yeah.
and immediately I'm taking Advil because I'm sure I have a back injury. It's in the mail.
You twisted your back in a way that it's not used to being twisted, and at this age, man,
Correct.
oh gosh, you do that one little thing. It's like you don't even know what threw your back out, but it was just like one little unexpected movement that your body wasn't ready for.
Correct. Yes, that all happened. Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for today's sports and more. Coming up, with the help of producer Andrew Downs, who is also with us today, Gronowski slinging it, Andy's biggest upgrades, and small town movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody. Guest House Tavern and Oyster has nightly specials. Wednesday is Walleye Wednesday. That's fresh walleye and salt and vinegar fries for $20. High or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax is the place that has all the answers for you and your portfolio, no matter what, you got it. If you're just getting it going, you're doing somebody in your 20s, you want to figure out how to set up the best path forward, or so let's say you're somebody in your late 50s and you're thinking about retirement, want to make sure that you're positioned just right to maximize your taxes and all that good stuff, you can give these guys a call. WealthCharterRetirement.com is where you will find them. I'm going to stay on a high here. We, have kind of ducked in and out of some spotty weather, but for the most part, it's been just beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful right now.
We've all been on enough RVTVs before where the weather didn't cooperate. To
Rain is the worst.
Understand, the difference in, the crowd turnout, just everybody's mood. Good weather to bad weather is just 180 degrees. So very appreciative of that. And I want to point out that I think we point this out every year, and I'm not doing it just to be repetitive or anything, but I'm honestly, I am always, or have been in the last 10 years, impressed at the number of Cyclone fans that when we first started this out, we're nowhere near the University of Iowa, but you would still come into these towns and it would be mostly Hawkeye flags, gear that you would see, people's yards.
That is the truth. You basically had to be in Story County for any hope at a 50-50 split, and you had to be pretty close to Ames, like Nevada or Boone, to have it tilt toward the Cyclones. Everywhere else we went in the early years, there just were either far more or more Hawkeye fans, east, west, south of us.
Yeah, and you knew that there were lots of people here connected to Iowa State University, whether they went there or had family that went there, or they worked with the university extensions. Certainly the agriculture department is just kind of, spider cracks out all over the entire state. So you knew they had connections, but they were choosing not to root for them or wear those colors or whatever. They probably already were connected to them, but I think it's been a multi-step process.
It has.
I mean,
Many
winning is huge, but also just kind of connecting with those people. And I'm not saying this because I'm rooting for Iowa State here. We've always felt like the more balanced you can make the rivalry, the more intense it gets, the more fun it is. That's certainly more interesting from a spectator standpoint, but it continues to even out. And I feel like we can just kind of see that in action. I mean, it's anecdotal evidence, but we see it every year. We can kind of take the temperature every year. And each year it seems to me like we see more representation from Iowa State.
Yeah, the football is the big driver, of course. Football is king in Iowa and in basically all 50 states, but it's a college football state. There's a lot of passion for college football. And for so long, Iowa State just did not have a big-time college football look or big-time college football success. And to varying degrees, Iowa did. Iowa had the bigger, better stadium, the more prestigious conference, bigger crowds at games, all of that. More success, Rose Bowl. So a lot of people, much like you probably know somebody who just became a Nebraska football fan because they grew up when Nebraska was winning national championships, and they wanted to hop on and cheer a winner. So many people were driven to be Hawkeye fans without connections because Hayden Fry and Hawkeye football, that was the thing in the state of Iowa. And over time, Iowa State has just raised the game in so many ways. Matt Campbell, of course, with the winning and the bowls and contending for the championship. But the look of Jack Trice Stadium from now to 20 years ago, or even more jolting, 30 years ago, it doesn't even look like the same place. So you have that, you have the winning, you have the crowds. You know, you had a sellout for the South Dakota game. That was unthinkable even 15 years ago. So for all those reasons, there are more Cyclone fans now. Not more Cyclone fans than Hawkeye fans, to be clear. There's still far more Hawkeye fans in the state of Iowa. Not saying that, but the balance in central Iowa is more there than it ever was, and not just in Story County.
You have to make your place the place to be, right? It has to be the place to be. You have to make other people want to find connections to it, even if they don't have them, right? And you mentioned the Nebraska fans that you used to see in Iowa, and now you rarely see them. But the ones that you see now probably really are connected to the University of Nebraska, the state of Nebraska, whereas back in the day, it would be, people would be in Nebraska stuff and they'd be like, well, no, it's my dad's brother is, he lives in Nebraska. And that was their connection. Yeah. But what you want, if you're Iowa State, you want people doing that for you, right? They want you saying, oh, well, no, my mom went to Iowa State, so I'm a fan. Right. Maybe they didn't go there. They're not directly affected by it, but they've got a connection which is good enough that they can join in on the place to be. And it's a whole lot easier to get a connection to Iowa State than it is to certainly to Nebraska. And, in rural Iowa and farming country, it's probably easier to get a connection to Iowa State than it is to Iowa. So you want people to just have kind of a reason in the winning, of course, has to go along with that because you don't want to be associated with a program that's not winning. But for the most part, you want people to be looking for ways to say that they're connected to you. Yeah, and the second most popular sport, men's basketball, during that time, Iowa hasn't been to a Sweet 16 since the 90s. And in that time, Iowa State has had quite a bit of success, so that has helped grow too. And the women's basketball program, now that's evened out, but the women's basketball program at Iowa State used to be quite a bit ahead of Iowa as well. Wrestling, of course, has been dominated by Iowa for quite a while. I'm going high as well, and it is RVTV in that we had. This is our first-time stop. We started RVTV 30 years ago, 1995, in Ames. Of course, the odd-numbered years are always in Ames, even in Iowa City. And we went to Earlham. Our first stop, they were really organized. It's a small town, and you couldn't tell that day because the streets were packed, and everybody was so friendly. We had fun. They had something set up for everyone. And it was just a blast. We were live all day, 4, 5, 6, 10, and there was something going on at all times. And we met so many nice people, and they were just appreciative of us to come to Earlham for something positive. So love that. That was good. And then the next day, last night, Coon Rapids, first time. And that's beautiful country up there, too. It is, yeah.
I had been to Coon Rapids before to the figure 8 races, and we stayed at the Garst Farm at one point. But just to be there, the street was packed. They had it set up really well where there's stuff for kids on one end and like live bands and stuff for the adults to do on the other end. And they were really organized. It usually takes one person that you can tell it organizes everybody and gets everybody on the same page. And in Coon Rapids, it was Katie. Yeah. And she gave us use of her office, too, to edit and put things together. And it was just a fun day and night. A lot of work, but fun day and night. Yeah, she had even told us that they had thought about there'd been a kind of a campaign in town to try to get RVTV a few years ago. And she said, no, let's hold off because we're doing this big Main Street renovation project. And, wouldn't it look so much better on camera and just for everybody that shows up if we wait until
so many of these storefronts have been rehabbed. And so they did do that, and I thought that seemed like a wise decision, because like 15 to 18 of the storefronts there on that main street in Coon Rapids had been refurbished. We went to a bar last night after we were all finished with work that had been freshly redone inside. And that's always a cool thing. I mean, you make a destination out of an old forgotten building, and all of a sudden it's,
cool.
It used to be a place of the past that very few people had connections to now it's, here and now, and it's, hey, let's meet you over at the Spar and make some memories.
I loved your story on Froelic's 106 years. Grocery store has been in the same family. And like Ed was talking to me a lot about this last night, because he's from Grundy Center, and he was just talking about what it means when a town no longer has a grocery store. And I think you said last night on the WHO 13 News at 10, you said when you were live that it's 30 miles to any other grocery store?
Yes. Can you imagine how inconvenient that is? I mean, we can't imagine it because we've never lived in anything like that. But I mean, if you just needed a cup of milk, or you got all the ingredients together, you got this cake or something that you're baking, and all of a sudden you've forgotten one ingredient, and maybe your neighbors don't have anything, or you can't connect with them, or you're out in the country, and then driving 30 miles there and back to get that one ingredient, that would be, I mean, what a pain. And not only that, I mean, if you want to have restaurants and other businesses on the main street, well, they need things from time to time, and you don't want them going 30 miles out of town to do that. You want to be able to run up to the grocery store, get it, keep running business. And if the town gets used to driving all the way into Carroll to shop for groceries, well, they're going to make a bunch of other stops over there and take care of the rest of their business. They're not going to patronize the ones that you have in town. So the grocery store is really, and they have a hardware store, which is really the same kind of thing, down on the other end of the block. When you have those two businesses, it's like you also have a bunch of other businesses. Mm-hmm.
Well, according to Sipker, all of this stuff, the flour, sugar, all that's going to be delivered by a robot soon.
I know that they're already working on that, and that's
I don't want that.
I feel like towns like Coon Rapids may be lower on the priority list for that kind of stuff. I don't know that that's coming there anytime soon.
Randy writes that he's watching from afar in ATX. Would that be Austin, Texas? Is that what ATX stands for?
So, yeah.
Austin, Texas. Okay, he said, met y'all when the Lohrville crew visited you on your patio tour in June. Love you, love this show. Yeah, that was at, wish I was there for this. Yeah, we wish you were here too. I think that was at Big Grove. We stopped by Big Grove. The whole committee was there that day. Another part of my high here was last night we got to sleep in what used to be the elementary school in Coon Rapids. It's now on Airbnb. And so we had fun. We got hit with the wave of nostalgia. We should have gone to bed right away. But the thing you always do is end up talking and laughing. And then we watched War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise one from Spielberg. They didn't have a deep DVD selection there, but we put that in. We watched that, and, then we're up 8:39 in the morning, and that was a short night of sleep. But it was fun, and we made a video sometime late at night, and we put it out there on Facebook, and Jessica sent a photo of her as a little girl in her whole student classroom, all the kids in first grade
room
at the chalkboard where John and Scott and David were standing right there. So she sent her class picture, and of course all the heads were like where their hands are in this photo. So that was really cool, and we had a nice time there. We had fun with like doing a deep squat to wash your hands because you had to bend down so low.
Oh, was it the kiddie
stuff.
Bathroom?
Yeah, kiddie bathrooms.
Yeah.
Everything was real low.
It must have been the kindergarten class then, huh?
First grade.
First grade, okay.
Yeah, first grade. And it reminded me of when WOI first moved from Ames down to Des Moines. We moved into some place.
It was like the handicap kids school or something?
Yeah, and all the toilets were like 2 feet off the ground, and the sink was really low and all that. The only one that enjoyed it was Jeff Grummer, because he's like, finally, some bathrooms that fit me. Yeah. He had to, reference would be like Brent Bloom if Hassel and Williams were talking
Poor
about
Bloom.
this. Yeah, jeez. Also, this Lohrville RV TV shirt that they gave us, these are really sharp. This, though, is the kind of RV we used to stay in a long time ago. This in no way resembles this Plaza RV Coachman Beauty here. Jeez. That's nicer. That might be nicer than 90% of the apartments or houses I've lived in.
Yeah, we pulled into town, and Scott Edwards always tries to blow everybody away with the RV that he picks out for us. But he brought it into town, and the ladies was like, yeah, that's a little nicer than the RV that we thought maybe you guys would be pulling in. So we
put it on a T-shirt. That doesn't look like the.
Yeah. Well, but you couldn't fit that on a shirt. You would need like a tablecloth.
This captures the spirit of the origins more, right? All right, let's get the buzz here on a Wednesday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Logier Heating and Cooling, proudly serving the Des Moines metro community for 119 years. The Buzz, 3 days until the big game. We've met hundreds of Cyclones and Hawkeye fans. Sometimes when we needed to go beyond live, Ed did miss a live slot last night, and I saw it happen. 4 nice older ladies, and I could hear him politely trying to peel off. And next thing you know, they're like, let's go to Ed Wilson on the streets of Coon Rapids. And, the photographer Lee takes a shot. He just starts zooming into people because there's no Ed there. And you see, he can't move 2 feet without being stopped for a photo or...
trying to get Ed Wilson to move like 50 feet during this week
it's tough.
It's like trying to roll a boulder down a beach.
Yeah, we get a lot of that, but he is the leader, but we do appreciate it. All right, so meeting all these Cyclone and Hawkeye fans, I can say with absolute certainty in all these conversations I've had, generally it's the same thing. Cyclones are really confident. Mm-hmm. They feel like they may not only win, but they may blow out Iowa. And Hawkeye fans are worried about their quarterback. I mean, that's the two things. And here is Mark Gronowski talking about knowing he needs to be better after that really shaky first game against Albany.
One of the things is just calm my feet down a little bit, slow everything down, make sure I'm catching it, then punching, getting into my drop, just so I can start seeing everything and just really just trust my throws. And just sometimes just having that like screw it mindset, just we're gonna throw it, we're gonna sling it, and that way we're gonna have more completions that way and get more balls down the field.
Do you think maybe that stemmed from just first game jitters, just the feet work and then not, letting it loose a little bit?
100%. Now that's, again, the first game jitters a little bit. Just really got to have that mindset going into this week and the rest of the season, just kind of have that screw it mentality. Like we got to just go out there, play ball, have fun, just play free, and you'll end up playing more fast by doing that.
It may be first game jitters. It probably is. I think it's far too soon to give up on somebody as accomplished as Mark Gronowski, and I think most people feel that way. But a guy who's won 2 national championships and has already played in Kinnick Stadium and has won 50 games as a college football starter, just not expecting that level of pregame jitters. But I think if you're a Hawkeye fan, you hope that it's more that and not coming off surgery and just being so rusty that you're going to see that rust again against Iowa State.
Yeah, and I think that was the fear, right? I mean, to me, you figure in the cramping problems that he had in the game.
Kirk Ferentz mentioned the cramping.
It just kind of seemed like he wasn't ready to play. Wasn't ready for the season. To start.
He missed spring.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't up. We are totally overanalyzing this, as we all do.
But those were 2 of the worst throws I've ever seen.
You just couldn't deny what you were watching. It looked like somebody that was not ready to start the season yet. And
it looked like more Cade McNamara, more Deacon Hill, more Spencer Petras. And that, Andy, that comment we just heard, we just got to go out there and just start slinging it. I feel like I heard Cade McNamara say that about 6 times.
Well, I mean, no one is, I don't care who the offensive coordinator is, no one has ever claimed that this was the greatest passing offense to be a part of. I mean, it's I think it's difficult. It's going to take an adjustment from somebody coming in from another program on the outside. It is. I don't. When is the last time that we saw an Iowa quarterback just really hit the ground running? I mean, it's been a long time. It's happened. It's been a while, and I can't even put my finger on who it would be.
Bethard, maybe? When they finally changed to him?
You know, unless it was like James Vandenberg or something when he comes in and, against Ohio State, he just looked really like he was just saying, screw it, I'm just going to go out there and play football.
And then regressed.
Then he regressed, yeah, pretty quickly. But, you just – this is not the type of program where somebody comes, waltzing in and is immediately impressing the fans. So I don't know. We can't read too far into this, but I was a little concerned by his physical condition.
Yep. And if you are a Hawkeye fan, you should feel good about that offensive line and the running game, even without Kamari Moulton playing. And you should feel like you've seen enough from the Iowa State defense to feel like Iowa might be able to run the ball successfully and have a chance to win this game. In Ames, the Cyclones aren't taking anything for granted.
It's obviously, two programs that, really care about this game, two universities, two fan bases. They're two biggest flagship universities in the state of Iowa. And so I think you respect the rivalry, but again, the uniqueness of this game when it's played, it's so early in the football season, and you have to understand that it's still about our growth and it's still about our process.
He's been here so long. He's been in this game for as many years as he's been here, and he's never won it here, I don't think. And so I think that's kind of like the fire that lights under him, is that it's in Ames, Iowa. We've never won against him here. And so that's kind of what, electrifies him throughout the week. But like all of us, and like I keep saying, we go at this like another game.
Yeah, those are good comments there. Campbell's not going to let them overlook Iowa, and he shouldn't. He has not. Rocco Becht is right. Campbell has not beaten Iowa in Ames. He's 2-6 against the Hawkeyes. Kirk Ferentz is 14-11 against the Cyclones. That does surprise some people, but you have to remember Ferentz lost his first 4 against Iowa State. And something we said at the time, and Ferentz later admitted, he was trying to treat it like any other game, and he came to admit that you can't do that with a rivalry game, with a game of passion like this. So he did change his approach some, because we know Dan McCarney didn't treat it like any other game, not when he was at Iowa and not when he was at Iowa State. So one of the things that stuck with me yesterday about being in Coon Rapids, I was talking to Tyler Kluver, who's on the Washed Up Walk-Ons podcast, which is a very popular podcast. And Tyler used to be a long snapper. He said he was 3-1 against the Cyclones, 4-1 if you count his redshirt year. And I asked him, I said, Tyler, years get away from me. I remember you at Marshalltown High School. How old are you now? And he said, I'm 31. I said, you're 31 now. How old were you the last time Iowa lost in Ames? He said, I was a junior at Marshalltown High School. That's how long it's been. He's 31. He was a junior in high school.
I was talking to an 11-year-old kid who was really into football outside the Coon Rapids Elementary School yesterday, and he really wanted to talk about the game. And he was just absolutely certain that Iowa State was going to roll. And he said, "Oh yeah, we'll win. We're at our home field." I said, when the last time, I just kind of did the math there. It's like the last time they won at your home field, you weren't born. We talked to so many people at Coon Rapids last night. We went to the bar, and there were, that town was having a really good time yesterday.
By the way, just let me interject quickly. One of the toughest things in life is to join an all-day party at 11 p.m.
when you haven't been drinking.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, the volume you can't make sense of.
Oh, man.
Aiden, this must be what your life is like, right? As a guy who does not drink, how many places do you show up and say, like, oh, man, yeah, this is
4 years at Iowa State. So.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So he's used to it, yeah. We're not. The volume level with some of those guys last night, it was at a 10.
Oh, my gosh.
There was no indoor voice.
There was one guy I thought was going to go face down.
Yeah, the guy that took his shirt off?
Correct.
Yeah, right. Anyway, but I talked to a couple of guys who were really, really smart college football fans. Huge, just knew everything about everything that was going on, and really they're big Cyclone fans, and they were not gloating at all. Very concerned about Iowa State's run defense in this game. And
Iowa can run.
Sounds like smart fans because, how many times have we seen it? You like what you've seen from Iowa State. They've got good players coming back, but it comes out and Iowa's great big offensive line with their, years-tested system just gets in there and starts methodically moving the ball, and you can't do much about it. And that is just given Iowa State coaches trouble from Dan McCartney to Matt Campbell.
I think if I'm John Haycock, I think I'm mixing things up a little bit and saying, let me see Mark Gronowski beat us.
Yeah.
Because after watching that tape, now he may be a completely different quarterback in game 2, but I would be, I'd be hunkered to stop the run and see, make Iowa beat you with the pass. When's the last time Iowa's beaten somebody with the pass?
I don't know. Ever?
What's that?
Nate Stanley.
Maybe when he wasn't overthrowing wide open receivers downfield. But yeah, he looks better in retrospect for sure.
But when they still had a good running game though.
They're
Never
going to run the football.
Never just beating you with the pass with a bad running game. That's just not Iowa.
Iowa wins football games with fundamentals, the running game, defense, special teams. Just hasn't been the passing game. But I have to add the passing game element to sniff a college football playoff. Quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale. AD, can't wait to hear your answer.
Yeah, will the outcome of the Cyhawk football game affect your mood? Yes or no? I don't know who's watching the show and can literally answer no.
Me? It won't affect my mood.
Yeah.
It won't affect my mood. I want to see a good game, but the outcome won't affect my mood.
Yeah, like who wins, like whittle it down that far. If you see a thrilling finish, that's the outcome, I guess, right?
To me, the spirit of the question is more like, will the winner, who wins the game, affect your mood? Because AD, it'll affect your mood, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I wish I could say no, and I'm sure my family wishes I could say no to this, but no, this will affect my mood, and I'm embarrassed to say how much it'll affect my mood and for how long it'll affect my mood.
The one caveat I would put in there, Andy, because you've been witness to this, is at some point we'll make our official picks, and if I pick wrong in this game, and I've picked right far more than I've picked wrong, but the times I pick wrong, that's the only time I hear about my pick. And it's some people who would like me to shove my pick up my poop chute.
Yeah, right. Well, if you're picking against them,
yes,
then
it's because you don't like them.
They don't want any part of it.
Yeah, you're against them.
When the home team wins, and you're there with a big production like we will be on Saturday, it's more fun. Let's be honest. You get caught up in the whole thing. Everybody's in a great mood. You've got work to do that day. You got broadcasts after the game. It's more fun to be surrounded by a bunch of happy people. The last 2 Iowa State games at Jack Trice Stadium, that place was like a funeral as we were leaving.
Yes.
It wasn't any fun. There was that. I was happy for the Hawkeye fans. They were having a great time, and clearly it's fun to see a game plan executed as well as Iowa did the last 2 times that we watched them play. Kirk Ferentz looked like a great coach. And that's fun to see. But, the fans were leaving early. The mood was, it's like when the home team is losing a really important game, there's something just really pathetic about the on-field production that has to carry on, right? The from the cheerleaders to the PA guy to, if Jackie Schmillin's out there still trying to fire up the crowd and stuff, they have to keep going.
Right.
But the crowd doesn't want any part of it. And it just sucks to look down there and they're like, okay, come on, Cyclone fans.
Let me hear ya.
Let me hear ya. And they're just, everybody's like, oh, dude, listen to this. And they're just, they're just
Let me turn this up.
They're not having it. And, that's not fun to be a part of.
The Cyclones are fully embracing, at least the Cyclone football program is, the use of the Cyclone script, which looks so great on those helmets like we saw in Ireland. And last week, too, the Cyclone script was on the helmets. This is what the Iowa State Football Official X account changed their graphic to this, just in case anybody wanted to know where they are with the logo. They're going Cyclones. That was an interesting week to change to that. Interact on YouTube. Email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, it's Murph_Andy, and it's all powered by the Cellular Advantage. Want to thank Doug Eklund with the Cellular Advantage. Gave us a, I don't know what it's officially called. It's some kind of Supercell cards pack so that we can have a great signal even way out here in Lohrville, where we're kind of isolated. We can even push video and photos through, and we appreciate Doug helping us out like that, because our relationship with Cellular Advantage started on RVTV when we couldn't get reception.
Yeah, he's kind of really doing it for the whole Iowa Everywhere network. We have a lot of shows this week, a lot going on, and giving us those cards, that hookup. It's going to help a whole bunch of different shows all the way through the game on Saturday.
Some more hot topics here. George Raveling died. We learned of his death yesterday. Raveling, it's been a long time ago. He was the University of Iowa basketball coach, but it was during the 80s at the peak of modern-day Iowa basketball interest. Took the Hawkeyes to the NCAA tournament 1985, 1986. He was known as an outstanding recruiter. Brought some of the best players that have ever played at Iowa to Iowa. He is a Hall of Fame coach. He was a Nike executive, maybe most famous for pushing Michael Jordan to Nike, which turned out to be pretty good for Nike and for Michael Jordan. And interesting story, many of you know, but if you don't, it is worth knowing just because it's so dang cool. He was a security guard at the I Have a Dream speech in Washington, D.C. Everybody can picture what it looked like. And after MLK finished his speech, George Raveling went up and asked King if he could have his speech, have his notes, which he'd gone off script quite a bit, as King would do. But Martin Luther King said sure, and handed the only manuscript, the only copy of the I Have a Dream speech to George Raveling, who had it for a long time, and he did not sell it. I don't know what something like that would be worth, but I gotta feel like it's in the millions. He donated it to the
Smithsonian.
No, the African Historical, the African American Historical Society or exhibit or some kind of museum monument. I'm not getting the name exactly right, but he donated the papers.
Yeah, as it should be. I mean, that's an amazing story, but it's too valuable to sit in somebody's private collection
or to sell.
Yeah,
I mean,
it needs to be out there so everybody can see it.
That was nice. Tough pivot here, but the Tush Push has a sponsor, Dude Wipes.
How does that work exactly? Every time there's a Tush Push, they have to mention Dude Wipes?
I don't know. Or anytime somebody comes, every time somebody rushes to the bathroom.
This Tush Push touchdown's brought to you by Dude Wipes.
Don't forget to wipe if you're a dude. Yeah, so Tush Push.
Dude
I think
Wipes
it's a natural.
will save your ass, man. I mean, seriously, literally.
What, from like a Klingon or what?
No, I mean,
Dingleberry?
Well, I don't want to get too graphic here, but let's say you're on the road for a week and you're playing road games all week with
nothing but meats and sweets.
Not the toilet paper that's not always of consistent high quality, and you get pretty wiped out. For lack of a better term,
and no pun intended.
And the Dude Wipes have like a numbing agent in there.
Like astringent?
Like a lidocaine, yeah. There's some kind of cane. and they like a benzocaine something and
like a hurricane,
some kind of like a hurricane,
like a bunghole hurricane,
right? And they numb you back there. They get you good and clean and good and numb.
It sounds like
I got some in my backpack at all times,
but not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor of us.
No.
They're sponsoring something, though,
yeah,
apparently.
The Tush Push. All right, Andy looks back at 25 years at WHO 13, where, by the way, WHO 13, you probably know this by now, but we are live at 4, 5, 6, and 10 from the streets of Lohrville. This is my first time in Lohrville. This is the only town I think I've ever been to where I had never been before, and they're fired up here. 360 people and 3 bars. Do the math on that. That is what? That's basically a bar for every 100 people, and that's not counting the kids.
2 of them. I think they're like 2 doors away from each other too. So.
And Chris Williams' brother-in-law owns one of them, Logan's.
Yeah, that's right. He is on the fence about whether or not he's going to be able to join us today, but I'm hoping.
Chris or the bar owner?
Chris.
Okay.
His wife and kids want to come up. He's got a lot of stuff to do. We'll find out whether he makes it or not.
All right, Andy, look back at these years. What do we got today?
I got a couple of lists here.
Favorite teams, biggest upgrades.
My favorite teams and the biggest upgrades. Okay. All right. So we'll do this in descending order here. Start with number 5.
Favorite teams?
Favorite teams,
okay.
Yeah. Favorite teams. Number 5, the 2023 Iowa women. Most fun I've ever had watching women's basketball.
Beat South Carolina.
Going to the Final Four.
Yep.
Caitlin Clark is just all-powerful. Go into the Final Four, and they beat South Carolina. Like, smoked South Carolina.
South Carolina had won like 40-something games in a row. I don't know about smoked, but they won.
They won comfortably in that game.
Yeah.
They won comfortably.
She was the best player in the game.
She was. It was so fun to watch, and just the whole the cameras stayed on her until she, walked all the way around the arena and then down the hall all the way to the farthest locker room. They stayed with her. That was amazing. Then they went in. They had that, unforgettable game against LSU. That team was. But it wasn't just Caitlin Clark. There was, Kate Martin, Gabby Marshall, and so many other household names.
You could feel the interest in women's basketball completely changing during that tournament run by the Hawkeyes. And the WNBA has done everything in its power to not take advantage of that, but we'll see where it goes.
I feel like that's kind of like, for Caitlin Clark, I know she had all those records the next year, but just as far as like being like a meteor in the sky, it seemed like that 2023 tournament Final Four was the high point.
I think they were favored in that championship game too.
My favorite Iowa football team of my whole time here is number 4. It is the 2003 Hawkeyes.
Not 2003.
No,
okay.
3. This would be the team. It is Nate Chandler at quarterback. They're loaded. Robert Gallery's there. Bob Sanders is there. Abdul Hodge and Chad Greenway are there. Nate Kading is still the kicker. They go down. It's a real. Fred Russell is great. It's a team that is still. Hawkeye fans are still just blown away by how good this program suddenly is under Kirk Ferentz.
Right.
But they've had that one really successful year under their belt where they lost the Orange Bowl. But this year they roll in to the Outback Bowl against Chris Leak and that Florida team that's really good. And Ron Zook, their head coach, and I think he's on the hot seat there.
He was definitely on it after. We were there, right?
Yeah, we were there down on the field, and Iowa fans had taken over Tampa and were having so much fun. And that game, I think Florida scored first. And then Iowa scored like 27.
Yeah, Iowa dominated that.
It was a blast. Went out with all those guys afterwards on the town there in the Bestman. It was a great team. It was a lot of fun. All right, number 3, I'm going outside the rivalry here. The 2006 Des Moines Buccaneers.
Did not expect this.
Got to figure out a way to work hockey in there. They won the Clark Cup that year. They had some NHL players.
That was a fun arena when it was banged out full.
That's when Buccaneer Arena was still really functional, totally full, really fun. They're serving the black velvet 7s in the hallway.
Yeah.
I'd be like
Those narrow hallways.
like aggressive drinks.
Yeah.
For a sporting event.
Oh, yeah. It's hockey.
But they go all the way through, and it's just, there's nothing else really going on, but they roll through the playoffs, and the building is just packed the whole time. Everybody's tuned in. I think we're getting video from the other cities they're playing in. Followed them all the way through, and they won the whole thing, went to the celebration afterwards. And I've never, in my opinion, that's the high point in hockey for all of Central Iowa.
The interest has fallen off quite a bit since then. They got to get it back.
Number 2, the 99-2000 Iowa State men's basketball team.
One of the 2 best teams in the country, but it turned out to be second.
Yeah. Incredible roster of players. Fun. Larry Eustace is fun. Marcus Fizer is at the, he's the best player in the country. Jamal Tinsley is there. We've talked about this team ad nauseum. That's number 2. And then number 1, the 2008 Drake Bulldogs.
Oh, here you go. Alma mater hits the 1.
I knew a bunch of these guys. They seemed like they were as surprised as everybody else. It came out of nowhere. It's Keno Davis. It's
Player of the Year wasn't interviewed on media day.
Yeah, Adam Emmenecker, as you see here in the picture. I mean, he was a bunch of really smart kids who just kind of wanted to play basketball, and they had these just amazing fun wins. They go to Butler, and Leonard Houston jumps out of the gym with that alley-oop dunk.
Speaking of an outcome affecting mood, you were distraught at that tournament loss when that guy hit that shot.
I was absolutely crushed. Ty Rogers. Western Kentucky. Yeah. Stole the breath right out of my lungs, but that was still my all-time favorite team. All right, my next list. The biggest upgrades that I have been witness to in my time here. The biggest upgrades. Okay, these can be any kind of upgrade we're talking about here. So we'll start out with a facility upgrade. This is Jack Trice Stadium, just in general. There isn't one year to the next. It's just been a steady progression from where it started when I was here, where I started with it, to where it is now.
Yeah, this is good.
It's almost unrecognizable. I think it probably is unrecognizable for people who
look at the
see
difference.
It
just if you're watching on YouTube, the difference is so. It's hard to believe that is in the same spot. And Jamie Pollard always talks about how this is the front porch of your university.
Yeah.
And you come around the corner, and it used to be an empty end zone where in the first year, 30 years ago, I actually was in an RV parked right next to the end zone. And now you can't even imagine something like that.
Yeah. And it's, I would imagine, I've never asked Jamie Pollard this, but I would be interested to hear his answer. I would imagine that when he first got there, he might have even thought, look, let's just knock this stadium down and build a new one. But that was just probably never in the cards. He couldn't do that. Probably wanted to do that, though, where he just like to start again.
It's also
it's a bad start. It doesn't make any sense. Why would anybody build a stadium like this in major college football? It didn't make any sense. So let's knock it down and start again. But
the construction piece is fitting like a puzzle. I'm so impressed by that.
Yeah.
How they made this all work.
Yeah, and so he was just like, he couldn't do that. So he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to have to try to slowly upgrade this. And it seems like, sometimes it seemed like he kind of dragged his feet on some of the upgrades. And then other times he was pushing ahead with ideas that the rest of us didn't really even think about until they were done. Like
it's good they got them done because NIL is changing upgrades.
No doubt. All right, number 4, Angie Lee was the head coach of the Iowa women when I got here. Nice person, just was overmatched. That program wasn't going anywhere. They were getting stomped by all the other schools. And Iowa women had a proud history. It was C. Vivian Stringer. They've been one of the top programs in the country.
They had fallen down quite a bit.
But they didn't overthink it. That would have been Bob Bowlesby at the time. Didn't overthink it. Just thought, okay, we got somebody who's from the Iowa City market, the area, Marion, coaching over at Drake, who's kicking our ass every year. Let's just, keep it simple and hire Lisa Bluter.
Yeah, and Jan Jensen. Because now that continues.
Jan Jensen and Jenny Fitzgerald come over with her, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and Lisa Bluter, whole nother level by taking Caitlin Clark away from Notre Dame.
it's still an incredible upgrade, even if there isn't ever a Caitlin Clark. But that puts it out of reach there. Okay, moving on now. Number 3, Vets Auditorium, which really was upgraded in 2 different directions. Vets Auditorium to the Casey Center. That becomes our big downtown arena. I mean, that's a huge upgrade. I know there are people that have like nostalgia tears.
Yep.
Like this, they have this rosy memory of Vets Auditorium
because you're remembering
you were a
some
kid there.
year or you were a kid.
I get that. People do that with the St. Louis
Everything.
Arena with me, but as an outsider, I'm telling you that place sucked.
Yep.
It was a dump. It was beneath Des Moines. Seriously. I mean, if you had like national acts come in there to Vets Auditorium, you needed something better. So Casey Center, Wells Fargo Arena, whatever. It's not perfect. We point out things that we wish were a little bit different about it, but it's been an incredible upgrade. It's been great.
It is.
And then the corresponding event center and extra spaces around it, which Vets Auditorium is now one of, that's helped a lot. It's been a huge upgrade. And Vets Auditorium used to be the home court for my Drake Bulldogs when I was my first couple of years at Drake.
It's where Larry Bird played.
You had to go down to Vets Auditorium, and the students who want to do that. That upgrade to the Knapp Center, that is on this list too. The Knapp Center obviously is not a new building, but it has been upgraded kind of like Jack Trice Stadium has. Back to the personnel side, Bruce Vandevelde, who was a nice guy.
Good accountant.
A good accountant. Overmatched by that job, especially taken over after Gene Smith, who was considered a very strong athletic director, I think.
Yep. Went to Ohio State.
Just seemed like he was not the right. He was overmatched.
You remember Bruce giving me a call or two here or there after a sound off or two?
Yeah, that's kind of a sign of a weak leader. I think somebody with skin that thin.
Yeah,
he wasn't
mean-spirited.
No, he's like, you're trying to get me fired. And you weren't doing a column or anything. You were just pointing out things that hadn't gone right. So Jamie Pollard comes in, and the upgrade from Vandevelde to Jamie Pollard has just been immeasurable in so many different ways. I wonder what the list of things that just like the physical things that he has upgraded around the athletic department on campus, how long that list would be. But it's not. Of course, it's not just that. It's the donor contributions, the stuff like just the attitude that he's brought. Like, okay, the Cyclone fans, no, we got
don't take a back seat.
Yeah, we got a place at the table here.
Yeah, put a billboard in Iowa City.
Yeah, do that kind of stuff.
It's a Cyclone state. He did that.
Drove Hawkeye fans nuts, and that was the point. And now, that is where that started in my brain. Dan McCarney, no doubt about it. Larry Eustace, yeah, absolutely. But when Jamie Pollard kind of wades in, and he had some tough stuff to do.
He did.
I mean, he had to push Dan McCarney out. I mean, that was a change that needed to happen, but it wasn't popular by a big chunk of the fans and former players.
Yeah, and
there, I mean, that at all.
Jamie occasionally gets sideways with fans, but you have to take both sides of it. The thing you like, that he's like one of the few people in college athletics anymore that you can have on, and he will give you a candid, honest, transparent answer about how he thinks. That is also the guy that will block you if he feels like you are being unfair to Iowa State. And maybe you don't think you are, or maybe you think he has thin skin. But that is that's like a take the good with the bad type thing, because he can be stubborn.
He's not a politician. He is absolutely.
He can be stubborn.
No, he's not running a chamber of commerce or something. He's not. It's not a popularity contest, and I feel like I've gotten sideways with him. I didn't know how it started. Just want to be like, what's wrong with you right now? Why are you acting like this to me? What are you doing? What did I say? What's wrong? And I don't know that I ever got to. And he'll tell you. I don't know that I ever got to the bottom of it. But it always, comes out in the wash, and we're always good. And I just have the utmost respect for all the different things that he has done around there. And he is really a very active member of that fan base is what he is. I mean, he's trying to make things better all the time.
In your 25 years, he is by far the single most important figure in Iowa State athletics.
No question.
I mean, and the gap to number 2 would be enormous.
And throw in the coaching hires that he's made. He's missed on a few, but he's absolutely hit home runs with some others. And then my personal favorite upgrade, I mean, what I consider to be the most significant to me, is at Drake Sandy Hatfield Club to Brian Harden. Sandy, really nice, very, very smart, very good at engaging with the community, really had a conscience the way that she did the job, but didn't do the job well, as an athletics director. I mean, just could not. I don't know that she was overmatched necessarily. She was the wrong person for that job.
She was like me fly fishing.
Yeah, I mean, coaching hires, just really understanding kind of what's important. And Brian Harden comes in, and I cannot say enough good things about what he's done. A local guy, understands Drake's place in the order, right? Which is really kind of job one if you're going to be the AD at Drake. And says, okay, well, I know what I've got, and what can I do with that?
And let's try to slowly build it into something more.
From all the facilities, incredible coaching hires. He's just been an outstanding representative of the university, and he's connected with donors. And who in the world would ever think that Drake would have like an NIL collective? That would have been a ridiculous concept.
Yeah.
But they do. Yeah, it's a big group.
And he has to hire a basketball coach almost after every
all the time.
Good few
and
seasons.
He's just got a hot hand. Yeah. So those are my favorite upgrades that I have seen 25 years.
All right, Confluence is the official beer of Murph and Andy, and big thank you to Confluence. Confluence dropped off in Earlham several flats of the new Old Tavern. Very nice. And some Des Moines IPAs.
Oktoberfest.
We would have to go to all
Juicy
50.
Wiggle. They got a Juicy Wiggle beer. That's been popular to hand
Ed's
out.
had a Juicy Wiggle.
Well,
We would have to keep this tour going for 52 weeks to drink all the beer that Confluence brought. So
we have it's nice to be able to, the people that work hard with us and have been really good to us, it's nice to be able to say, hey, come have a beer.
Andy, here comes Kathy's crazy kettle corn.
I see that. But they come have a beer with us, and we say, take your pick. Look at all this Confluence beer that we've got.
All right, let's go out of order here a little bit, AD, so we don't have to keep him waiting, because we are really long getting to the movie segment here. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody, presented by P&P Small Engines.
Hey, there he is, Mr. Movie. Good to see you, Mr. Movie.
You know, I was available today. You guys, I could have just driven up.
Look at the weather.
I know it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it turns out it's nice. Hey, you look and sound good. It's good to have you with us. And, speaking of looking and sounding good, I hear that Jeff is over the state fair and well-rested and ready to do business over at P&P Small Engines.
Yeah, I had a little issue with a chainsaw last week, so I had to stop in and have some help with that.
Good.
Don't
try to do that yourself.
He comes popping in, and I'm like, holy cow, I haven't seen you in months. And he did. He looked great. He was all excited about the fair. He said that we, the three of us, sent a ton of people to him during the fair. They all mentioned it.
Good. So Mr. Movie suggested a small town movie, because we have been, we started in Earlham, then we went to Coon Rapids, and now we are in the smallest town of those three on RVTV, and we're in Lohrville, which is 360 people. So this is a small town, and there have been some great movies about small towns. Some of them positive, some of them are more about a bigger picture. And I'm going to pick a movie I haven't mentioned on the show. It's from a long time ago, later became a TV series, and is from a different time and place in America, especially the Deep South. But it was a really important movie to me as a kid, and I've since shown it to my son, Cade. And for the time and place, it holds up well. It's called in the Heat of the Night. It is a black Philadelphia police detective played by the late, great Sidney Poitier. He is mistakenly suspected of a local murder while passing through a racially hostile Mississippi town. Rod Steiger is the police chief who resents him being there, doesn't like what he's doing there, and he is asked by the police chief to investigate the case. And it is it's a terrific movie. There is a huge scene where a white woman slaps Sidney Poitier, and he slaps her back, and it was a shocking thing for the movies at the time. And Mr. Movie, he delivered one of my favorite lines of all time, and it's just, "They call me Mr. Tibbs."
Yeah.
Great movie.
But you know what? Even today, it's so difficult to watch. It's just... It's
a history lesson in some ways, but boy, it's Rod Steiger and Poitier at the top of their powers. So good.
Absolutely.
I watched that as a part of a course in college.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very interesting. I'm going to go with a movie that's supposed to be set down in my home state of Missouri. This is David Fincher, one of my favorite directors, and Gone Girl. Rosamund Pike, Tyler Perry, Ben Affleck, and he gets Emily Ratajkowski to get naked. Great book by Gillian Flynn. Massive reveal.
Yeah, I had not read the book, so I was stunned.
And an ending that ties you up in knots. You're not really sure how to feel as you walk out, good or bad. What would you do? It's a fantastic movie set in a crappy river town south of St. Louis on the Mississippi. I guess it's supposed to be Cape Girardeau, but they call it like North Carthage or something. But they're from the big city, moved down there because Ben Affleck's family is from there. So it has kind of that element where you have the outsider in Rosamund Pike, and then Ben Affleck, who's kind of the local guy who thought he had escaped from the town, but is now back.
It's a shocker. You liked Gone Girl, didn't you, Mr. Movie?
I did. I liked the book, and I liked the movie probably just as much.
All right, what's your choice for small town Iowa? We haven't really picked two things that capture, say, a Lohrville or a Earlham or a Coon Rapids. What do you have?
I'm going to go with a movie that was actually shot in Dyersville about a baseball team from Norway, Iowa, population 586. The team is about to be shut down. It stars Powers Booth. It stars Sean Astin, so it's got a great cast. It's just a fun movie. One of those movies at the end, I mean, you can see from the picture there, it's just, that I'm looking at, it's just a rousing, great time about a bunch of kids that come together and do something that was not even possible for them to do.
Yeah, it's a good book. It's a good movie. It tells a story that in towns like this, Mike, it really resonates because every time we go to a small town like this, it was in Coon Rapids, and now it's Coon Rapids Baird, or when we were in Earlham, or here where Lohrville used to have a high school, and they've marked. I took a photo of it today. There's a monument up where the high school once stood, but there's not a high school here anymore because they've consolidated 4 or 5 schools like they've done so many places. All of our first 3 stops all became consolidated county schools, basically. So that's kind of what this movie is about in a way. And boy, that really has a pull on local people in these small towns.
Yeah, it really resonates in today's age.
AD, small town movie.
Yeah, I'm going fictional. This movie's called Hot Fuzz. It's Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. They've teamed up a few times. All the movies that they do are great.
It's quite a pivot from the final season.
It is, yeah. Simon Pegg is like a big-time London cop, but he gets transferred to this small town in the English countryside, and he's got to kind of navigate the local politics, and he's investigating a serial killer. and hijinks ensue, and it's a fun action comedy. If you haven't seen any of the movies these guys are in together, watch them all, but this is certainly one of my favorites.
Yeah, good choice. That's good. That's way out of the box. I like that. All right, so we get to, after another week of weapons ruling the box office, let's get to some reviews that Mike Woody, our movie critic, Mr. Movie, as he's known at Fridley Theaters and can be seen on the big screen at the Palms. The Roses is a remake of the Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner classic from 1989. The trailer looked good. Is the movie good?
You know, anybody that's seen the original movie, I mean, it was more slapstick than it was, serious. This one's kind of serious. These people do not like each other, and they both want to get divorced. They just can't find a way to do it. Cumberbatch is great. Olivia Colman is good. Kate McKinnon shows up, and that's always a treat. And Andy Samberg. But she's a master chef, and he's an architect, and they can't get divorced because he wants the house, and so does she. So it's back and forth. I hesitate to recommend it too highly because these people really do not like each other, and you're sitting there I was sitting there with my wife, and it's like, this is getting kind of uncomfortable. And I was a little concerned she was getting ideas. It's really well done. It's just a little too far for me. It's a C+, maybe a B- in that range.
I know what he's talking about, though, Andy, because we've all been like on a double date at some point with like a couple that either didn't like each other or were near the end, and you're like, gosh, I can't wait for this dinner to be over with. I'm so uncomfortable. And do you want to pay $15 to see that? I don't know.
On vacation with them or something where they can't get away from each other. Yeah, it's really hard. How similar is this to War of the Roses, the Kathleen Turner, Michael Douglas movie that was so funny?
That was a true comedy. I mean, they didn't like each other and they wanted to get a divorce, but there was more comedy in that movie than there is in this one.
All right, we have to move it along because we have a 2:30 shoot. You don't have to hurry, Mike, but I'm telling Andy we're gonna have to consolidate here. But Caught Stealing is the Austin Butler Lower East Side 1990s New York City bartender with an alcohol issue, and then things go sideways. It looked intriguing to me, but looked a little crazy. What'd you think?
I was sitting there thinking that your two boys would absolutely love this movie. It's he really pisses off some Hasidic Jews, and they're after him, and they're not going to be nice when they get hold of him. So. But it goes on too far, too long. It's crazy, too crazy, mindless action. I bet Austin Butler punches 250 people in this movie. It's like, okay, come on, seriously. So I don't know. I wasn't happy with it at all because I thought this is a great opportunity, a good story, and. I think I'm going to give it an F.
Whoa! Wait, hang on. You think Kate and Colin will love it?
I think they will. I think they will absolutely love it.
That's great. All right, he's giving it an F. I didn't see the F coming there. It sounded like a ramp up to a C.
A C- or something. Yeah.
All right, Sign of the Times, the Prince film in IMAX glory at the Palms.
Holy cow! First off, the movie was not shot in IMAX. Obviously, IMAX didn't exist when Prince was alive. But the sound is fabulous. The music is tremendous. And just to watch the group play together, and especially Sheila E. I mean, that woman on the drums was a powerhouse. And I went with Chris Meharry the other night because, Chris, he's a big Prince fan. So I took Chris with me for his opinion, and there was 3 of us there, and we all walked out and we loved it. Sheila E. was by far the highlight of the film, but the Prince music is absolutely fantastic too.
So Chris Meharry was an A+, I'm sure. What are you?
I'm a B+.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, what's coming up this weekend?
Something called Light of the World. It's an animated movie, a biblical story, animated. And then on the other side of the coin, you've got The Conjuring: Last Rites. So you've got good versus
looked disturbing.
evil. And then it's a birthday weekend. It's Jaws turns 50, Breakfast Club turns 40.
Oh,
and
man. Breakfast Club turning 40 hits me harder than Jaws turning 50.
Sound of Music turns 60. And then there's this little football game on Saturday that'll be on the big screen as well.
Yeah, how you feeling about your alma mater, Iowa?
You know, I'm okay.
All right.
We're
Feeling
all
confident?
right. I don't feel confident, but I'm not scared.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be.
Anybody in the Breakfast Club, an actual teen when that movie was shot?
Yes, Anthony Michael Hall and Molly Ringwald were both teens.
Okay, so the others are all in their 60s.
Judd Nelson was 25.
Yeah, he did look older.
Yeah, he did look older.
Well, what a
Mr.
great
Movie.
movie.
65.
Oh, my gosh, yeah, older. So good to see you, and thank you for joining us.
You guys have fun.
We will. Thank you, Mr. Movie. Mike Woody, brought to you by P&P Small Engines. The Murph and Andy show here on Iowa Everywhere, also brought to you in part by our longtime partner and friends at Heartland Tire and Auto. Big thank you to all our friends there at Heartland Tire and Auto. They've been great to us for a long time, and so far we haven't needed them on this trip, so that's good. I haven't talked to Cade. Hopefully he hasn't needed them either. All right, now let's check with our Grimaldi's fan photos here. Just remind people that you can send a Grimaldi's fan photo at any time to Murph_Andy, and when you do that, you're eligible for a $50 gift card in each Friday. Right, so we'll give away a $50 gift card.
On Fridays, yep.
$50 to Grimaldi's coal-fired brick oven pizza in West Des Moines, or the district at Prairie Trail in Ankeny. And our fan photo here is of
the Downs
kids.
In
Oh, those
Earlham.
are your kids.
Yeah, those are my kids. We went to Earlham and hung out with you guys, and they were fascinated by the old school Cy-Hawk trophy. My son couldn't believe he was counting up all the different wins and losses, and he's like, "Why don't they use this trophy? This is cool." I was like,
Well, they should.
It's a long story, buddy. It's a long story.
It is a long story, and they should use it because it has a real origin story. It was not created by a focus group or a sponsor. It was created by Hawkeye and Cyclone fans in a basement who wanted to have something special for the game. All right, now we'll get some more here on the Murph and Andy show live from Lohrmar.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Lohrville.
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah.
Next week, Either Or celebrates its second birthday with a 3-day party on their great patio. Stuff for adults, kids alike, food and drink specials, both outside and inside. Details on their social media feeds, and we'll tell you more about this next week. The Des Moines International Airport has launched a new Easy Pickup program designed to simplify the passenger pickup process, reduce congestion at the front curb, and improve the travel experience. Ongoing terminal construction. It allows drivers to wait for up to 2 hours free of charge in a designated section of the parking garage while their passengers make their way from the terminal. I always think it's funny when airports do this because it will be used for a week and then everybody will just go back to waiting along the curb like they always do, right? I mean,
right.
Because it seems like they'll be like, yeah, no, you need to go to the waiting area. And
Yep.
you're like, where is that? And they're like, 4 miles that way, and it's so far away. Like
Yeah.
nobody's going to pay attention to that.
So then you push it and see if you can get away with
They're
it.
just going to keep
Yeah.
circling. That's what always happens. I hope it works out, but it probably won't. Let's have something good.
Tell me something good.
During the U.S. Open, Polish tennis player Kamil Majshank, that's how you pronounce his last name?
Sure.
Gave him a new hat and other swag and a kind of a heartwarming meeting. See the picture. After the social media backlash, the Cesarechek guy publicly apologized, admitted his error, returned the hat, and expressed regret to the boy, his family, the fans, and the tennis player, and then he publicly flogged himself in a town square.
He probably needed to, and that still wasn't enough.
God, man.
Listen, expect that you're on camera. You're on camera.
Whether you're on camera or not.
Take it from Coldplay.
What are you doing? Give it to the kid. What are you doing? You don't need to be on camera about that. After teasing for a month that he had a big news announcement for Tuesday, September 2nd, yesterday, Howard Stern announced that he needed another week.
Need more negotiation.
Big news now set for September 8th. I don't know exactly what's I suspect that he's just doing this to fool around with people, but I don't think he's going anywhere. If Sirius doesn't re-sign him, you know how many people they'll immediately lose?
They'll lose a lot, but he doesn't have the audience he once had, and it's a lot of money. They pay him like
hundreds of millions,
dollars or something.
He's that whole network. I mean,
I know, but he's kind of Major League Baseball a little bit. He is on the decline from his peak of powers and audience, and they don't want to keep spending that much. They want him to bring the salary down, and he's probably thinking, I'm major network. I'm not bringing the salary down.
Absolutely. It's still it's a really well done show. He has two different channels on it. Where one of them where they just run
best of,
yeah. And the other one is his show. But we'll find out. We'll have to wait till next week to find out what's going on. From the files of Some Headlines Don't Need Stories, we bring you this. Woman arrested after stripping to underwear and twerking on top of car at kids' fun day event.
My gosh, really?
It's a family event. It took an unexpected turn. The woman shocked parents and children by climbing up onto a parked car. It's a really little car, too.
Yeah. Was she drunk?
I believe she's drunk. I think that was the diagnosis. Strips down to a bra and then starts twerking in front of the crowd. And she's kind of big and the car's kind of small. So the thing was moving.
Yeah, the tires looked deflated.
Yeah. She dug those things into the dirt. It happened in broad daylight while the families were trying to enjoy the activities. Witnesses describe the moment as chaotic and inappropriate, especially given the number of children present. All right, Andrew, we will cut it off right there so we can move on. We got stuff to get to here. We'll have much more on more coming up on Friday, but for now, that's your more, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, AD and Aiden and Andy, for zigging and zagging, because now we have the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it, boy, these flies are everywhere.
Yeah, they are.
What is it? Why is that? Why are they on us?
Because it's windy out, and we're next to the RV where it's not windy, and it's kind of shady, and the flies all find the most pleasant place to sit, just like us.
I knew you would know.
It's on us.
We call it the AD squared.
Yeah, that's right. It's powered by Game Day Men's Health. I go to the Ankeny location. Andy visits West Des Moines, North Liberty. Wherever you are, there's a Game Day near you. They can help you out, especially for a long RVTV week. I was in Earlham on Monday, guys, and I met David Warrington, who seems like a really nice guy, but he definitely had like those big eyes. He wasn't exactly sure what he was getting himself into this week. Let's see how day one went for him.
I've really enjoyed being here.
Yeah, I have too. It's a good day.
What happened to that Daniel guy?
Who's Daniel?
The new guy.
David.
David?
I think he's out getting something to eat.
Earlham was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. The people were so nice. Hey! Mark Freud! Freud, how are you doing?
Oh, never better. First RVTV I've enjoyed. Hey, year two, it gets better.
Really sad shot.
Where'd we get the can of beans? Who had an extra can of beans?
I think Scott got them. Chelsea went and bought the can of beans. Oh. Guy ate beans on the curb.
They had a little bean shop.
Good to see Mark Freund make the appearance.
And by the way, these things are done in a hurry. Freud is just randomly sitting in the middle of the street. It makes no sense. He's facing the wrong way. Makes no sense. But
he was in a really good mood.
Yeah, thank you for that video. That's from WHO 13. David Warrington really getting an idea of what's going on here. His eyes have been like doe eyes here. Quickie poll results presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
Will the outcome of the Cyhawk football game affect your mood? 78% say yes, 22% say no.
Well, we care about sports a lot. 78% say the outcome of the game is going to affect their mood.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's not everybody's going to go kick rocks down the road and lock themselves in the back room like David in Marshalltown, but I mean, will it make them a little happy or a little sad? Yeah, I mean, you got to admit that.
Look at this. They brought these stickers. Oh. I love Lohrville. Lohrville. We had some controversy about how to pronounce it.
Why? Who thought it was Lohrville?
Well, I don't know. Hassel started this whole thing. He says, here's some of you saying Lohrville, some of you saying Laurelville, but it's 2 syllables, Lohrville.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Lohrville.
Right.
Okay.
Hassel was overanalyzing something on the show?
Yes, he was. Wait until you hear him Saturday afternoon with Instant
Nobody
Iowa.
that saw how that is spelled would think that there was another syllable in it.
He said you're one of the guys that made it 3 syllables.
That was a complete
fabrication.
Total, I mean, it was completely unintentional if I did that, but I know what the town looks like.
All right, the WHO 13 News is live here at 4, 5, 6, 10. Be here all night in Lohrville. 2 syllables. 3rd first-time stop for RVTV. We're so glad to be here and glad that you watched Murph and Andy here today. So thank you for being part of the show on Iowa Everywhere. If you get a chance, please like and subscribe. It helps us out. And we're back Friday. We will be in Polk City. Polk City.
On the town square.
Yeah, and then it'll be North Polk against Newton in prime time on WHO 13 after the pep rally at RVTV. So come and join us Friday if you can. Tomorrow we're in Boone where the T stands for train.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.